Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to What is Right Understanding, Swami Anubhavananda. So I'm not sure what this video is about. What is right understanding? That could mean a few things. What is the right understanding of the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Brahman, Atman, Leela, maybe, Maya, I don't know. So let's go ahead and get started.
अविचार कृतो बंधः विचारेण निवर्तते. Misunderstanding can be corrected by right understanding. This is the rule. Now, what is the misunderstanding? Misunderstanding is I am body, I am sense organs, I am mind, and I am intellect. This is our understanding, but in fact, is it understanding or misunderstanding? We consider ourselves to be logically perfect, scientific minded. Then what is the logic that can prove that this body I am? What is the logic that because of the body I am, or the body is because of me? See? Because in our dream and deep sleep experiences, we are not identified with the body, yet we continue to exist. So our existence is independent of body. See, friends. But if there is a complete disidentification with the body, can the body survive? See? And if it survives as what? So when there is a complete disidentification from the body doesn't die. So body survives. See how beautiful it is. Think properly. So neither I am because of the body, nor the body is because of me. See? So, when this identification happens, then the samsara begins. It is something like only in the bulb there is no light. Only in electricity there is no light. Bulb can exist without electricity. Electricity is independent of the bulb. So there is no problem in the body. There is no problem in Paramatma. Where is the problem? So when electricity expresses through the bulb as light, then only everything is seen. In the same manner, when pure conscious existence, differently called as Brahman in Vedanta, Paramatma in Yoga, and Bhagavan in devotion. Same reality. This reality, when it is expressing through an instrument called body, and if life is manifested in that body, then the samsara begins. When electricity flows through the bulb, light is manifested, then everything is seen. See? So what is to be done? So we have to understand that the light in the bulb comes under n number of conditions. Now, is that light also real? See? When the bulb becomes fused, where the light goes? Does it go from one bulb to another bulb? स्वामी जी ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए क्या बनाऊं आपके लिए? Come down to the same routine. Think how simple it is. When you just start thinking, then this comes into our understanding. So, what is the reality? Reality is Rupadi Manyataha Pindaha Tatho Natma Ghatadivat. Like the body is with a particular shape, etc. But the Paramatma, the divinity, is without shape. See? And what happens? Whenever we are identified with the body, the mind takes a particular shape. And thereafter, all the thinking is with reference to that body. Then the samsara begins. So, what is the conclusion? Body identification is not the problem. Problem is when we take body identification as real and thereafter we start thinking in relation to the body, then the problems begin. So, what is to be done? Karnataka. When we are identified with the body, then being human beings, we have to lead a dignified life of a cultured person, unlike the animals. And therefore, our Dharma Shastra tells that Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Whatever you are obliged to lead your life in a dignified manner, so whatever role you are playing, play that role perfectly well. But at the same time, remember, Karnataka, after the role is over, don't carry the burden of the role whole life. See, friends.
There's a couple of interesting things he said over here. Let's see. That the body can exist without essentially the consciousness, pure consciousness, and pure consciousness can exist without the body. So like here, a bulb can exist without electricity. Electricity is independent of the bulb. That was a very interesting statement. That seems like duality right there, and this is something that I'm starting to get into a little bit. Not get into, but starting to think a little bit on. There is a philosophy in Hinduism. I think it's Samkhya Yoga. Let me see if I can. Was nature reality? Yeah. That is it. That is it. Yes. Samkhya Yoga. So this is similar to what he's saying, in my opinion. I mean, again, he says the bulb, which is going to be reality separate from the eternal soul, Purusha, the material Prakriti. Good Lord, there goes that word. Prakriti, which is the bulb, and electricity, which is Purusha. So bulb being Atman Brahman, and the bulb being the material world, and electricity being the Atman Brahman. Those two can exist separately from each other, which is interesting. And then he did say something interesting around here. We identified the body. Here it is.
Conclusion. Body identification is not the problem.
Body identification is not the problem. Something that I also like. I mean, it's kind of it goes along with amazingly this particular Sankhya Yoga. This philosophy here, which is the fact that this body is real, and I don't know how to look at Prakriti and Purusha. Because the ego, hopefully if you understand what I mean, there's pure consciousness, which is Brahman, and then there is the ego, which is the false identity. The way I look at it is Brahman is supposedly your true self. Well, it is your true self. But how do I say, what makes your true self unique is the ego. In some sense, it's like everyone, the one true self it's always it's the same no matter what, no matter what. I can't really say no matter whether should look at you or me or him. It's the same. There's no you, me, and him in terms of Brahman. It's just the one. But it looks like the video recording cut off, so I did look at it. Luckily enough, it did save some portion of it. So I left it to the ego part now. Brahman, there's only one Brahman. There's no you, me, him, it, there, whatever. It's just one Brahman. But the ego is unique to us individually. It is the false you. But at the same time, with Samkhya Yoga, I wonder if we can associate the ego with the material world, because our body is part of the material world, and the mind itself is also part of the material world. Again, it's pure consciousness and then everything else. In terms of, again, Samkhya Yoga. So this ego is something that's unique to us and unique to the body, and how I like to look at it as our true self, not true self, but our true self. And what I mean by that is that it's not, because we can't. I don't know how to say this. Let me try saying it. We can't say that pure consciousness is our true self, because pure consciousness is just awareness, consciousness. That's all it is. It has no memory. It has no action. It has no desires. It doesn't have anything except pure consciousness. So we can I don't know. I don't know if it's right. Well, not whether it's right or wrong. That's not what I'm worried about. I don't know if I can say it, because can something exist as pure consciousness? In terms of Advaita Vedanta, yes, absolutely. But is that existence itself, though? And I have a feeling someone will come and say, like, without consciousness, how would know anything ever exists at all? And I don't disagree with you there. But I guess it's the sheer fact that well, that's what the whole point of moksha, liberation, is, to exist as pure consciousness, because there's no suffering in it. But what kind of life would that be, though? It would be within the name itself, ananda bliss, pure bliss. But I don't think bliss means bliss in that same sense, because how you can't enjoy anything as pure consciousness, because pure consciousness is just, again, awareness. It's getting really complicated whenever I start going into these things. But anyways, let me talk along the lines of how I see things. Let's just say that consciousness and who we are two separate things. Again, in terms of Samkhya Yoga, again, I don't know too much about Samkhya Yoga, other than there is a separation between, I believe, Brahman, pure consciousness, and then everything else. But let's say, and just try to follow me on this one, and then by all means, wreck me in the comments if you want to. Let's say that our true selves, kind of like robots, is this body and mind. But without consciousness, we can't operate. I wonder if that can make sense. It's kind of like, imagine robots with AI, but without power. And the way I look at it, power is Brahman, and then the robot is our body with the mind. So basically, we cannot operate without Brahman Atman, but all Brahman Atman allows us to have awareness, pure consciousness, awareness. Whereas the mind and the ego, let's just make it simple, the ego, what allows us to have personality, wants, desires. Don't get me wrong, like it can be terrible things, absolutely. I'm not arguing whether it's good to have the ego or not, but maybe the ego is who we are. Again, it's just follow me with this, and I'm just wondering if that makes sense. Where pure consciousness is like electricity, and this body is like the AI. The brain's the AI, and the body is the the body of the robot. And without consciousness, without consciousness or electricity, the body can still exist, like Swami here has said. And same thing with the robot. The robot it has the body. It exists. It can't operate. And same thing with probably with us. Without the consciousness, our I guess you look at comatose people. Basically, the body exists, but it can't operate. I don't know. Obviously, I know. I understand there's metal components and stuff, but the way I look at it, like humans and robots are very similar. AI and our bodies are very similar. Again, removing consciousness from this. So the way we understand the world, we have to learn to know how to operate things like a pen. Without learning, we wouldn't know what this is. It's going to be the same thing with a robot, where he gets this and is like wondering what this is, and start messing with it and start learning about it, kind of like how we would too. A robot wouldn't know how to do anything. Wouldn't even know how to stand up probably, but it can learn. Like our minds are capable of learning as well. Again, and then. It's really weird to say remove consciousness. Don't remove consciousness. We need that to operate. But this is really a bit much to talk about, and but I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at. I'm not trying to disprove anything, but merely see how I can understand. Hopefully, how I understand multiple things, and perhaps maybe how I could be misunderstanding Samkhya, or maybe just have an alternate understanding of Samkhya Yoga as well. Again, the duality of Samkhya Yoga is very interesting because this feels like where it falls true to say that this world does exist, and the reality is also Atman Brahman itself, where Sri Ramakrishna and I believe Swami Vivekananda has said that the world is real, but I don't know if they mean it that way. Because I do believe there are true Advaita Vedantins. I believe the non-duality. I think, but it's really weird for them to again. If I remember hearing correctly from Swami Sarvapriyananda, that they have said that this world is real. I've never heard them say it personally, nor have I seen a video recording of it or read any books. But I think I remember Swami Sarvapriyananda has stated that. Okay. Sucks that the fact that for some reason my video just stopped recording. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down, that bell. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.